appreciate that once I ask everyone to close our eyes, you won't know what I'll be doing, the gestures that I will be doing. And therefore, you will appreciate with me that the eye is one of the most important parts of our bodies. And yet, little is known about it, and nothing much is done when it comes to our health. We take it for granted. In spite of all the interventions that are available to us, you realize that there are some conditions that are preventable, and yet they are the leading causes of blindness in our society. Today, I'm going to focus on cataract and refractive error. But then there are other eye conditions such as glaucoma. It's also one of the leading causes of blindness. I'm sure most of us have heard a lot about it. We have one that is called age-related macular degeneration. That one, as you age, there are some changes that come into the eye, the retina. We have diabetic retinopathy. If you have diabetes and you don't control it, it can also cause blindness. We have trachoma and then onchocerciasis. We will all agree that when it comes to blindness or eye conditions, it has so many impacts, not on the individual alone, but on the family members and the society as well. Let's take a child. A child that has a refractive error or, let's say, an eye condition will not develop very well in the sense of his academics. When it comes to the adults, you realize that you cannot work. Most of them are unable to work, especially when you get blind along the way. Even accepting that you are blind is an issue. So it has an impact on both the individual and the family. As a husband, if you go blind, how do you take care of your family? As a wife, how do you take care of the children? So these are some of the impacts it has on the society. You cannot move. Even when you want to, there is a funeral and you want to go, everybody is like, now, you know, so it has an impact on us. Now, I said I was going to talk about two conditions, cataract. You may be asking, what is cataract? In Twi, we call it ete, but I don't know the names we have for the other Ghanaian languages. But most of the time, there is this proverb, we say, when you born as a tesiswa. When you born a tesiswa, and yet, you see, we have this misconception. When you look at somebody, and then you see some white thing on the back of the eye, you think that is a no, that is not a that is not cataract. Before you can say somebody has cataract, or you can really identify somebody as having cataract, the person must be examined. Unless the cataract is matured, you cannot look at the person and say that this person has cataract. So, what are some of the symptoms when you say somebody, or what is cataract? What causes cataract is that as you age, when you look at the person sitting by you, you realize that apart from the black of the eye, which we call the cornea, there is this part that is called the pupil. In the pupil, it is supposed to be transparent. The lens is in there. Cataract affects the lens of the eye, so that when you are aging, the lens becomes opaque, so that instead of it being transparent, so that light can go through it, reach the retina for you to see, it is opaque, and so you can see that there is somebody there, but you can't really appreciate. So the old woman or the person will say, that is a symptom of cataract. One other thing is that when you look at colors, they look faded. One is also the fact that when you look at the bulb, when you look at bulb, for instance, you realize that there are halos around it. These are some of the symptoms of cataract. Now, we have so many people on radio telling us that they have herbal preparations that can cure cataract, or they have a means of curing your cataract. Please, there are no herbal preparations that can cure cataract. The only intervention when it comes to cataract is surgery. These days, with advancements in technology, it doesn't take long. 30 minutes, they are done. You just need to be educated that once you are done with the surgery, there are some things you are not supposed to do. What happens is that once you cannot see and you are able to see, that weekend you want to go for a funeral. When you go for the funeral, that is when you cry all the tears that you failed to cry. So you go and then the thing that is not healed, you go and make it worse. So after surgery in cataract, we educate you that maybe for some time, even when you are bathing, you don't pour water on your head, you just wipe your face with a face towel. Who is at risk? If you have certain conditions like diabetes, you are at risk. If your family history, so most of the time you go to the hospital and they ask you, Mami and now Papa, Obi and Frada. Ghanaians, we like lying. So they'll say, oh, there be Obi and Frada. Then you ask, oh, Unane. Say, oh, okay. Binana, Oni, and no one, dear. Yes. So when you go and they ask you, they just want to be sure and educate you accordingly. Then so when you spend so much time in the sun, it also causes cataract. And then there are some medications like steroids. If you take them too much, it can also cause cataract. Now, how do we protect our eyes from cataract? One, like I said, if we spend so much time in the sun, get your sunglasses, which are UV protected. Also, if you smoke, you must stop smoking. There are some food, just as you need to eat healthy, there are some food that also help with the eye. I will take us through and then we'll be fine. Like I said, the treatment option is surgery. There is nothing else that can be done about it apart from surgery. Then I'll go to refractive error. Refractive error works basically, let's say, there are some of us that are tall, some are short, some are big, and some are slim. So the eye must have a normal size. Assuming this is the size of the eye, and you have a smaller size, it has effects, and so you won't be able to see very well. If it is bigger than this one too, you will have a problem. So you need spectacles to make you see well. Now this is the problem. Somebody comes to the clinic, you tell the person, your own is just to wear spectacles. The person says, I don't want spectacles. Because of that, the person cannot see. The most painful part is that of the children. The mother will bring or the father will bring the child to the hospital. You diagnose the person as having refractive error. The father says or the mother says, Nina nakra 100 years, one share spectacles that akraketwa no be share spectacles. It doesn't matter. A child can have a refractive error, and an old woman will also have refractive error. So once he is diagnosed of having one, please get it for him. There are some too that will buy it just to show you that it's not about the money. But when they get home, they have times that they want the child to wear. No. When the child is supposed to wear the spectacles, he's supposed to wear the spectacles all the time, not when he's watching TV or in the classroom. So that is about it. Apart from the eyeball, sometimes when you have cataract too, before we say go and do the surgery, we will do assessment. When we do the assessment, we will determine whether the cataract is matured or not. When the cataract is not matured, for me, what we consider as not being matured is when it does not interfere with your normal work. So that when somebody is coming and I can see, there is no need for me to do the surgery until it gets to a point where you cannot see. We don't do it. So at that point, you may need spectacles to see. That one too, some people say they won't wear it and they are blind because of this. Some too, genuinely, they cannot afford it, but we can help them. Now, one will ask, how will I know I have cataract or refractive error? That is why we always encourage that we go for an eye examination. There are instances where even we bring people here to do the screening and still people will not go for the eye examination. So please, I'm pleading with us all. Let's find time, go to the hospital and have our eyes checked. I also want to talk about common causes of eye injury, because some of these things are appearing in the clinics so much. Now, especially with the children, they like playing with sticks. Try as much as possible to deter them from doing that, especially with broomsticks. So they come to the clinic with a lot of injuries like that. And those of us that they use welders, all right? You are supposed to wear your protective goggles when you are working. Some do not do it. And you know, the other part is the welder will be working with the protective goggles on, and another person will be standing by watching it with the bare eyes. Please, try and then protect your eyes against all these things. How do we, before that, you realize that there are some children with brownish eyes, or some will say red eyes. Okay, so it's caused by allergic reactions, and it depends on what you are allergic to. Some are allergic to, let's say, peanuts. Some are allergic to soaps or the kind of creams. If you are in the house with a child like that, try and identify what the child doesn't like or is allergic to. So if you realize that you change the soap and the child is rubbing the eyes too much, change it. If you change the pomade, likewise, take that away from the child. In this environment where it is so dusty, let them wash their face as much as possible. And then when you go to the hospital, children like that will take a while before that brownish thing will go off. But parents give up. They go 1, 2, 3, and they are like, oh, my call hospital, sir, and call. Please, when it happens like that, take him back and let them see him. With the constant application of medication, it will go with time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I want to talk about first aid, when in case it's very important that we talk about the first aid. Assuming you are in the house and then maybe you are working with a chemical and it splashes into your eyes. Please, what you can do is that if you have a tap water or just any clean water, just make sure you wash away that substance from the eye. Use a lot of water to wash it away. Where something breaks the eye or something cuts the eye or something, don't wash it. Quickly rush the person to the hospital. Most of the time, we try to pull whatever has stuck in the eye. And when you do that, you just cause blindness. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and God bless you.